Joining us today on the Everyman podcast is a man who wears many hats. One might say an everyman. He's a vocalist. He's a songwriter. You could call him an entrepreneur. He's a content creator. He's a streamer. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Muller. Kev, what's up, my brother?
Yeah.
How we doing?
We're
Thanks for having
doing.
me on.
We're
Thanks
doing
for being
pretty good,
on.
man. And of course, you are here. You are the singer and frontman of Alluvial,
Mhm.
which just released Sarcoma, which is available everywhere that you're listening to this podcast, everywhere that you're watching this podcast, Spotify, TikTok, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Who
it's out
knows?
there.
Oh
Who
yeah,
knows what limit you can probably find at the public library if you look hard enough.
love it.
And I'll tell you what, the album is sick. We were talking a little bit beforehand. I've been a big fan of Wes, the guitarist, and you know, kind of the creator, if you will, of Alluvial. And I've been a big fan of his for a long time. You might know him from the Faceless. He plays with Devin Townsend now. Great genius guitarist, killer songwriter. What's it like for you coming into Alluvial, a band that is kind of already a thing, but it's changing with vocals, and then, you know, coming into something new like that?
It's awesome. I think the big takeaway that I had was, I'm excited to see what people think. Number one, the fact that it's never had vocals. The band always intended to have vocals, but it's just the way it panned out. They never got the right guy. I think outside of that, it feels awesome for me because I had the background of like more brutal death metal bands, and now I'm joining something that's a little more upbeat, not upbeat, but different, like very, you know, melodic and wide ranged in different genres, where I'm used to people hearing me go just for the whole 40 minutes of the album.
And I love, and don't get me wrong, I love that kind of stuff.
Husky, love it.
So do I. And like, dude,
Love
I'll be honest, there's gonna be futures of that in Alluvial, but it's also like the beautiful blend is what makes it sick.
My
You know?
man.
I'll
So,
tell you what,
You got to do it.
and it's not just because you're sitting here, and I told you beforehand, before we started recording, I really like the record. And one of the things I like about it is, especially from the vocal front, in the heavy, so people that listen to heavy music, whether it's death metal, prog metal, whatever, you have a certain tolerance for extremes, whether it's
Sure.
extreme tonality in the guitars or extreme vocals. Like, I've always been, if I hear wild ass vocals on any end of the spectrum, like for example Dragon Force,
Mhm.
anything that goes like wild like that, or Cannibal Corpse, you know,
Sure.
I love that spectrum of, it's not the normal vocal
Right.
presentation. And you have this tolerance of what you can, like, not understand, but it just, as you listen to more metal, you get better at kind of decoding, that's the bass, that's guitars, and the vocalist is saying you know, XYZ. Your vocals are especially clear, and there's space in what you're doing, and you can really comprehend what you're presenting and what you're talking about in a way that's like, it slides right into the mix. And that's partially, obviously it's a great mix, so not to shortchange, you know, the engineer and the songwriting and all that stuff,
Shout out to Jeff Dunn and John Douglas.
because it's masterfully done. But it's also like your vocals, and I've seen you know, on Twitch clips laying it down in real time. And what's your vocal process like? How did you always want to be a singer, and you got into the metal thing? Like, how did you get from you're not doing it to where you are today?
Man, I remember the first time I ever picked it up. I was a kid. I had to have been like 15 years old. And I actually did a podcast a few weeks ago, maybe a week ago, where a guy brought up like pictures of DVDs. He's like, what do you think of this? How does this register with you? And he showed the Slipknot Disaster Piece DVD. And I remember being like, holy shit. I remember like being in my room. I had a little crate amplifier with a guitar, not a
drum
rock
solo.
band. Dude, yes, that dude. But like, even I always think of Surfacing when Mick is just looking in the fucking, you know, just doing the thing, you know. But I had a
6'5" of them,
dude, just monster person. I remember I had this little like crate amplifier, like little 10-inch speaker, and I had a Rock Band like mic that I just plugged into it, and it sounded awful. But I remember I would get home from like, what am I in high school, middle school at this time? Middle, like end of middle. And like my parents weren't home yet. So I'm like, I'm just going to plug in and see if I can just like karaoke to this shit, you know, just blast the TV as loud as I can, blast that thing as loud enough to balance. And I would just fucking practice. And my parents have walked in on me multiple times and just been like, what the fuck are you doing here?
There's something wrong with our son.
Yeah. Like, God damn it.
He's singing as loud as he can.
He's screaming in the room by himself again.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. There was just something liberating about watching those dudes like freak out and just have the most fun. Even like going to Pantera and watching Phil. Phil is an awesome example because everyone in that band's super talented and like, you know, like methodical in the note choice. And then there's Phil like, hell yeah, motherfuckers. And he's just throwing beers and freaking out. I'm like, that's the best job there is in the world. Like to be able to give out that vibe and message and not give a fuck and watch chaos happen. I'm like, I want to see what he sees. And
to have that kind of awareness of it too. Like,
oh my God.
Because there's that's kind of the special, like the spectrum of special talent. You know, you have the guys that are 120% of their focus is into their performance because they're using every bit of it. And then there's the Phil Ansamos that are just like, he's literally born to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's no other job that man can clock into.
Right. Like he was made and bred and born to do this job right now in this moment of time. And like he can do it, you know, drunk, high, underwater, you know, in plane, it doesn't matter. And they have
still
that
doing it. And Scour's crushing and fucking,
but he has
all the bands he's been in.
He has that presence to be able to be, like you're saying, kind of in control of all this chaos around him. You know, there's a lot of people that are really good at it, but only a handful that are, you know, Randy from Lamb of God is one that is like a master.
They're all so sick.
It's like he's like walking on fire or something. Like he's just controlling.
And he's got it. He doesn't look stressed. He's just fucking crushing, dude. And like, I don't know. There's just something about that role that I just, you know, as a kid was always just like so intrigued with. And I think I talked about it a bunch where like my inspiration started with metal in general, just listening to like the joke now is people know I listened to Meatloaf as like my first metal thing ever. It's just, I remember seeing Bat Out of Hell and I was just like, that's the most metal artwork I've seen first. That was the thing.
Let me tell you something about Meatloaf. So I have this, I think like every musician kind of around our age, there's a variety, and you bring up Slipknot. We were kind of at the forefront of this like easy access digital, like you probably had Napster or shit like that, where you could probably get one or two songs and you might be able to get a Queen song.
It was like wow, 85 kilobit quality version. You're like, this is awesome.
But it was something.
What's that MP3 CD thing that they had?
The mini disc.
Disc. I had that. It fit like 20 songs. You're like, let's go.
Yeah, I can listen to
Bear
half a Yes album on here.
Yep, do all that shit.
You would get like little bits of the outside of the mainstream that was really pushed. So you would, but we all still grew up in that era of like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. So there's like this pop influence.
Yeah.
And so there's like a weird variety that makes up like this kind of generation of musicians. Whereas like the one behind it's even more eclectic because they're like listening to Korean pop music and, you know, Cannibal Corpse and Dream Theater, and you know what I mean. So they're totally, it's all thrown into a pot now. It's really bananas.
There's so much out there now that I'm getting to that boomer age where I'm just confused. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to figure out like
there's trying to keep up with the Zoomers.
Oh my God, there's so much anime and death metal. What happened?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Cool. Yeah.
Well, dude, but I remember what I was trying to say here about Meatloaf. When I was a kid, my mom, like, she loves Meatloaf.
Right. That's how I had it. My mom,
I was going to say, we're like the same age.
And our mom's on the floor. I was like,
fucking love Meatloaf.
What is that?
And because when, you know, when they were rocking and rolling, Meatloaf was the fucking man. And he still is.
That's what
But I remember listening like on long road trips to West Virginia to like take my brother to college.
Dude, we live the same life.
Listening to like
Twins.
My mom throwing in Bat Out of Hell and just me listening to, and like just being like, man, this fucking sucks. And then by the end of it, like, just like, so now every time like, dude, I hear Meatloaf, I'm like, man, what a talent. You know, the guy had range. The dude's
You're not going to hear nothing like that now. You know,
no
like,
way. Could you imagine? There's especially like at top of the charts.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it's just nuts. That whole like movement of music though is like you know, you have so many people that are just diehard Kiss fans, and now you look back and you're like, oh, now I see why. It's not about their lyrics, it's not about it. It's just their whole drive, their performance, their look, their like, you know, think about at the time, like, you know how people are like, oh my God, Elvis was so suggestive, you know, all that stuff. And then you have Gene Simmons fucking spitting blood.
Yeah.
Just going nuts. And I'm like, that's the sickest thing. Doesn't even, he's not playing breakdowns like
titanium cockpiece. Right.
Yeah.
And you see the image and then you hear it and you're like, what? Like, this is not,
you just got to embrace that feeling, like whatever that is. Yeah. You're just like, yep, I like it. I subscribe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Not as heavy as I thought. Yeah. It's, Guar's kind of like that too.
Yeah, but Guar is like, every band is gonna like, you're gonna get a new one that pushes the envelope, you know, makes it a little more grotesque, a little extra, a little different. But like my whole journey really continued from liking Meatloaf, and then my mom started buying me CDs from like Sam Goody and The Wiz. Those were stores we had out here, and like my mom didn't know what to buy me. I was never like I was like video games and music, like that was the shit, and she didn't know what games I liked, so she went to like Walmart in the discount section, like got a $5 game, like, all right, here you go, I guess you might play this. But with the music, dude, I remember like on holidays, whether it's Christmas, and in our stockings, she just put random CDs in it, and she wanted to see what stuck with me. Dude, Will Smith's Millennium.
Dude, you know what's funny? I was just gonna say it was one of them, because
Sum 41.
Yep. But about the Offspring, were you
yeah, Offspring was in there.
Offspring,
dude.
That's so funny. What was the Will Smith album? Because see, we're in Philadelphia. That was a huge deal. Millennium was it's the one after that. It's
Big Willie Style.
It was it was probably Big Willie Style.
Then there's the other one. What's the fucking?
There was the one at the
Miami song.
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, going to Miami. Whatever the fuck that was.
Dude, he every now and then he put out like a dance.
He has some jams, man.
He put out like a dance hall song last year. He just dropped
crazy.
it. It's pretty
I didn't even know that. I didn't know he was still like trying music shit.
Well, his whole catalog is kind of hidden, and I have some of the CDs.
I'm opening Spotify right now.
Right now.
Wait, did I hear this then? Hold on. Now you got me tripping. Now I'm thinking about something that came out. No. Oh, no. Yeah, what I'm thinking about is Vin Diesel put out a song. Did you know about that?
Yeah. No.
Millennium. First of all, hang on.
Millennium.
That was the album I had. That was the one I was telling. It's the green cover of him in the elevator shaft or whatever the fuck.
I'm going to download it. Yeah, Will 2K, freaking it.
Will 2K. That's the one.
Who could forget Da Butta? That was a good one.
But another CD I had in that collection was Lou Bega's Mambo Number 5.
Oh, Mambo, come on.
Yeah. How many?
Little bit of everybody.
Over or under like 5 islands that Lou Bega has because of that.
Let's look up his number.
Over.
Dude, he had to have sold
over.
He had to have sold 200 million records.
You know who also probably
at a premium price too. Oh my God.
His net worth is 1 million.
You know what? Baha Men might not. They might be one.
Well, when did that come out? When did the loop? That was like. Oh, that was like 99, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 99.
That was that whole crazy movement.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Baha Men was very hot.
Oh yeah, dude. But like, you know what's sick about those kind of groups is when you buy the album, their deep cuts are actually sick.
There's some decent songs in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can give you another example. I on my stream they make fun of me, but I don't give a shit. Eiffel 65's Europop.
Yeah,
dude.
The whole album front to back is amazing.
Oh man, this is bizarre. Yeah, I have that record. Yeah, I have that record. What was that? There was another one on there that I really liked.
Move your body.
Yeah, body.
Yeah. Dude, hell yeah.
Come on now, everybody. Yeah. Oh my God.
And the other one. Oh, the other one. Too Much of Heaven. Too
much of heaven.
And if there's an interview with them, they wrote Blue as a joke. And that was the one that hit.
I used to play N64. What was it with the little robot dog game?
Robot Dog.
It was like a family in space, and they had one of the characters you could play was a dog.
The Jetsons?
It was something like that. No, it was like an RPG.
Robot Dog.
Yeah, it was one of the characters, and a girl and a guy with blue hair. Jet Force Gemini. Jet Force Gemini.
Jet Force Gemini.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never
There's
played it though.
another 30-ish-year-old dude who's sitting there listening to this like,
Oh my
Get Force
god.
Gemini, idiot. You know?
Oh my god. I forgot about this
But
completely.
dude, that album and that game are kind of
Oh yeah.
karmatically paired in my mind.
Yeah.
It's
I have
funny.
a bunch of those. I have like Hot Wheels Racing Metallica.
That the one,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
that one when you were in the track. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
And you're doing the
I had that
backflips and shit. Give me
Yeah.
2, give me 5, give me da, 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 da.
yeah, and you're just riding it through the little garden parkway in the back.
Yeah.
And, yep, absolutely. Going through the
so
attic,
sick.
dodging the cat. Yeah, those are the good old days, man. Those are the good old days.
Hell yeah,
Funny, you
dude.
can fall down a nostalgia hole real quick.
Dude,
Especially
absolutely.
on
Because,
YouTube.
but
Next thing you know, you're watching a whole
Tell me.
playthrough of Hot Wheels racing.
have you been attached to something in the last 10 years like you were then? This is the struggle I'm going through because it's like, I don't know if this is a quarter life crisis.
We're like, we're
Well,
saying like
what's
anything.
Weird? Well, you know what's weird
Anything.
is so
any
I'm a big,
movie, any
I'm a-
song.
I'm a big pro wrestling fan, as you can
Okay.
see.
Oh, I just caught it. I just saw
And-
that. Okay.
And I was a huge fan when I was a kid. And then like most wrestling fans at the time, I became interested in girls. My wrestling went like this. They just kind of, they intersected.
Once it went to WWE, I was out.
and
Once
but
they
later
switched, I
in
was like,
life,
it's fucked.
it like reignited and like so like I've caught back onto things, but definitely not as new. Maybe you just can't imprint passionately once you get to
Yeah.
a certain age.
Yeah, there's a magic. I
Unless
remember
it involves
like
your hog or
waiting.
something.
My father would tell me like I can't watch it, like the pay-per-view. He'd buy it and we'd all be excited and then we'd eat dinner and he's like, you can watch it once you finish your dinner. And I was like, oh fuck, dude, I'm not hungry. I don't want this. And he would face me in the dinner table away from the TV until
that's
like
awesome.
it's on in the background. Shawn Michaels is getting his ass kicked. I'm like, oh, I'm like stuffing the food down my face. But like, dude,
See-
that era I love. The Attitude Era was like everything
Yeah.
to me.
My parents would only conveniently walk in when I was watching it when they were like mock having sex with a dead body or you know what I mean? Or the
Yeah, all the
Undertaker
worst
was
things.
yeah, or like the Undertaker was crucifying somebody. Like it was always
Mankind covered in blood. You're like, what
right,
are you
the
watching?
absolute worst. And then it was like, you can't watch this anymore,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like, oh, well, it's not always like
You
that, I swear. You know, that was my luck with it as a kid. But yeah, there's certain musical memories that I have that are just really associated with like playing at Vice City or something or
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but I
Yeah. I've
think
just been struggling. I don't know. I don't have anything like new that I'm like, holy shit, this is the best thing I've heard in forever. Like, but you know, what's weird is when you go back to those old things to see if they're just like, maybe it's just that it's old that I appreciate it. And then you play it and it's just as good as the day you remember it. You're like, why? What happened in the quality change from there to now?
well, you like mentioned Slipknot, and it's funny that talk about aging myself here. Pre-YouTube, Daryl Campbell. You just had to like file share drum videos.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I had like folders of just any drummer that I could find. I would just download it and save it because like you didn't know what you were gonna find next or if there
Yeah.
was ever gonna be any more. You know, Slipknot was one of them where it was like that DVD, the crazy drum set, you know, and I went back to that recently and that is still brutal. Still holds true.
Still, the whole show is amazing. And it's
Daryl,
like,
you into Slipknot?
No, not really.
Not
What do you
your cup
listen
of
to?
tea?
I listen to, for me, and full disclosure, Brother Jay is the one that really hit me to metal in general. Like Dream Theater was my first intro to that whole
Okay.
genre.
Can
which
you
is
imagine
kinda like
your first concert being Dream Theater?
it's an overload.
Right?
Oh yeah, it was.
It's a big
was.
sensory overload. It's just, there's so much to focus on.
Yeah.
They're not all like this. I swear. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into bands like Korn and stuff like
Okay.
that, but I mean, like for the most part, like my intro to metal was Dream Theater at a concert
Interesting.
with my bro. So it's like, overload, but
Well,
in
the second one's
such a
gonna be
great way,
Goofy Band.
There's a lot of interesting bands. I'd be curious if you would like bands like Candiria, or like Candiria was like a New York band that they were like the earliest that I can think of that brought in like saxophones and shit and weird, funky, like crazy jazz breaks, but then also had like the song I'm thinking about is a song called Work in Progress off like their old Like this was like mid 90s thing, and it had Phil Vibes from Irate on it and Jamie Josta from Hatebreed before Hatebreed was even like popping off
from the podcast.
Yeah. You know, it's just like from that era, it's just crazy to be hearing those things collide. But like, it's one of those bands that just gives you a new flavor of stuff, even going backwards. But like, I don't know. I'm all over the place. I listen to a lot of hardcore. I listen to a lot of metal. I listen to a lot of death metal. I listen to a lot of, not a lot of like black metal stuff at all. But like, I love stuff that gives you something new without calling it something, if that makes sense. Like bands like E-Town Concrete, Agents of Man, you know, they give you like hip hop vibes. They give you fucking rock metal vibe, like more rock vibes, but then they throw like a crazy beat down at the end of it. You're just like, what is happening? You know, Vision of Disorder, stuff like that.
There's so many bands that you listen to now where they're 5 different things put together. And I think that's kind of just the direction metal
it's
in
hard to be
general
original nowadays. You know, there's so many times you can go bum, 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 you know, and it's just, they got to put a different spin on it. Whether it's like now the big thing is like big symphony sounding productions. Like I know bands are putting like orchestraic fucking vocals and choirs.
And she's incredibly talented. Daryl, I have to send her to you. You know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't want to. You've probably seen her on Instagram. This gal in Australia, and she's doing like every metalcore band's symphonic breakdowns in their songs.
Oh, is she the chick on the piano?
Yes.
I don't know her name, but
you know,
I've
Missy
seen her do
something. But she's this lovely gal, super talented, and she takes. I think she started doing it on her own, and then bands started reaching out to her, and then she turned it into a business, which is cool, which is great.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
And they'll send her their track, and then she adds like her thing,
her own lick to it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. But now there's like
so many
metalcore, like every metal band has like an orchestral breakdown now, and you're like, come on.
Yeah, and then you go see them live and they don't have it, or they're using backtracks, and then you're just like, the whole velocity of that song on production is just not there live. That's always my thing.
And it's funny because you said you're not really into black metal, but one of the Alluvial tracks I was listening to, you kind of have a little.
There's influences. There's like
there's a little
Wes is more in that department. For me, it's like I like Dimmu. I like.
Right.
I wouldn't even call them. I see. That's the thing. I wouldn't even call them black metal, but they have that look to them, and like the content's all there, and the face paint and all that. But like black metal, in my mind, is an 8-minute song of just lo-fi, bad quality guitars and drums just going for 8 minutes. It's like 2 parts just repeated.
Dimmu's got like they really do.
Gateways though is one of the sickest songs I've ever heard in my life.
I love
and then the live show that they did with the fucking choir on one side and the live orchestra on the other. Yeah. Massive.
We were just talking about this with Mark Holcomb. I was telling them it combines my love of the pageantry of pro wrestling and, you know, brutal technical metal. They're awesome, but everyone's kind of turning it. It's like there's several like Ginger and Spirit Box. Like there's a couple of these bands that are just like, we are super brutal, and then we're very pop friendly.
Yeah.
Like it's
hard because now it's like we live in this time.
Everybody wants to be everything.
I have such stupid analogies. I think about them in my head. I'm just like, I was laughing to myself just now, just thinking like, you know, when did it become so like open? And I don't hate it. It's hard for me to get into a lot of stuff because it is too much all over the place. But like what you just said, you have pop music infused with metal, and it's cool. Do your thing. But for me, I want the brutality. I want the anger, and I want the image to be sold to me that this is the scariest thing, you know, or it hits you in a different way. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, when did it become so accepting? And then my joke in my head was like, when they started passing kids that were meant to be failing. It's just the accepting of it.
Nice.
Fuck it. You know, here
they slip through the cracks.
Yeah. And it's just you know, you can't judge it. You can't say you're like, you don't like it. Otherwise people attack you for being a hater and like all this other stuff. But for me, it's just some stuff I just can't get into, but I'm not dissing that it exists. You know, it's just for me, I get confused of like how things trend. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, if you want to have a good time, and this is for both of you, just jump into the comments on a YouTube of Spirit Box or Ginger. It's like, woo! Like YouTube is known for just, you know, insanity. And it's like the volume is just so high that there's no way to control it.
Yeah.
And some of the shit you see in there, you're just like, oh, all right,
Dude.
what a world. But yeah,
And all of it, even our videos, people
sure.
are like, one guy was like, dude, the vocals are so good. And then the other guy just like writes it off. This is garbage. Sounds like a cow.
God.
Like
I had somebody
like, it's just going dark. I was like, what did I do to you, man? I didn't try to hurt you.
I had somebody leave a comment on one of our things once that I deleted, and it made me laugh. Like, it made me laugh then. It makes me laugh now. And it was like, dude, I would listen to this guy literally shit on the toilet. It was so boring. ... I didn't want to listen to this. And I was like, you're telling me you would listen to this guy take a shit, but you wouldn't listen to this podcast. Like, all right, like
quality comment.
But it's, it's like, all right, the guy, at least he's honest. I can appreciate that.
I got to give Wes credit here. He says something to me that I think someone said to him. And it's one of those like perception things that sticks with you. It's like, people don't tend to hate on stuff that sucks. Like, it's not worth their time to make a post on a video.
Yeah, I'm not going to leave a comment on this.
Yeah.
Right. So then it's like, because they feel inclined to make that comment, it's a lot of the time comes from a darker place. Like, it's like they hate that it's doing well and they want to like bring it down. But then it's just like this weird, sad attempt kind of thing where you're just like, that's a sign that you're doing fine, is if someone wants to comment negatively on your video. You know what I mean? It's just like this weird pull, tug of war of their own emotions.
Well, it's also too kind of like somebody's 5 minutes of fame might be warring in a comment section.
Yeah, they might get 20 people that like that fucking comment, and people that guy's like, yeah, let's do it.
Did you see my fucking reply? It was awesome.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
His
it really
head does
wasn't.
look like a brick,
look,
or whatever.
He disliked it. He shared it. He deleted it. That means he got to him.
Two people chimed in. It's great.
Yeah, it's something. It's just like it's an interesting world out there, but it's great though. Like, people really do get to just say whatever they want. And there's a beauty in that, because then if there is stuff that really does suck, then it gets really shown as that. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
Well, depends on how much control you have of any given scenario.
Yeah.
Right, Daryl?
Yeah.
There's always, so there's always somebody that's got more control than you think.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that we alluded to early on, as you can tell here, is you're a Twitch streamer. And you hold it down kind of in the just chatting, and you have a nice crew in the chat there.
Oh yeah.
Where's your hot tub set up in your thing here? Because I don't see your hot tub.
I have an inflatable one over there, and then outside. I was making this joke with my stream, and I was going to set up some sort of goal that I have a pool right outside. Like, this is like my room, and then I have my living room here, and then my door's right there. And I'm going to buy like a 100-foot HDMI cable and just run it right outside, and just get a whole party in the pool and say, this is the largest hot tub in there. Just heat it up and just have like, I know what the content is. It's all these chicks, right, doing their thing. I'm just going to like bring over like my hot friends and just let them dance my pool while I sit there like this with shades on, just staring into the camera for like a solid, 4-hour stream.
You're a handsome guy.
Get in the pool.
Yeah.
Daryl, so
have them play a board game while they're in the pool. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So Daryl, just to catch you up, this has been a big controversy in the Twitch world.
It's interesting.
Daryl, you and I, when we were doing market research for our Twitch channel, there are a variety of young ladies who do all sorts of interesting tasks.
Oh yeah,
on Twitch, like playing Jenga in a pool, for example. This concept has evolved into what's known as hot tub streaming, or hot tub streamers, and it's these lovely ladies just chilling in like usually an inflatable hot tub inside like a sunroom or a garage, or
sometimes it literally looks like it's just in their bedroom. Like if I move this couch and just set up a hot tub here, and I'm just standing here, and like if someone subscribes, I write their name, and then like they'll have on screen donation goals. Like for the next 1,000 subscriptions, I will change into a different bikini.
Right. And it's like a big,
it works.
And dude, so these girls took over just chatting, because technically there was no category for this. They were in fact just chatting, just from a pool. So they displaced like all of the big Twitch streamers that were in just chatting. And then it was a big like, oh, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? People started getting upset, because it's like, you're asking, some kid talking about, I don't know, worms and doing his book report on worms or some shit to compete with these gals in hot tubs. It's just not right.
Right. It's
who's
just
gonna
not.
watch?
No.
Who's gonna watch Neil Tyson when you got this going on in the category? So they made a new one, which I just noticed it's like hot tubs, pools, and beaches, and it's like it's again ladies in pools. The other night we're watching this, we're flipping through. There's some scary content on there, and Daryl, it got me thinking. I think what we should do for our return to Twitch is I think we should get ourselves an inflatable hot tub.
Dude, put it right where that drum set is.
I mean,
just right next to the drum set.
Get it going.
They don't need that type of manscaping to be shown, on Twitch. Man, they don't need
there's
that.
a market there, no one's podcasting from a hot tub yet, so there could be an audience for it.
This goes back to what I was saying, how kids were just passing when they shouldn't, but at the same time it's like well,
it's kind of wild to me that they allow it, to be honest with you. Like, I love Twitch.
It's just such a fine line, because
it's like how is this not sexual content? And I'm not, trust me, I'm not complaining about sexual content.
They have a council that is like very interesting. I don't know if you've heard of this or looked into this at all, but they developed something called the Twitch Council, which I think was a year or two ago. They hired to be more aware of the different types of communities you encounter. They had a trans woman that was like one head lead, and then they had someone that was gay. They had someone of color. They really made like a diverse group of people. But now the only thing that triggers me is like, are these people qualified, or are they just like hand selected
how does that happen? Like,
right. So what happened was
who selects the selectors,
right? And then it's like
and why?
But what happened was there was this individual, the trans female. I'm not sure of how she identifies, or he, whatever it is. I don't know this person that well. So anyway,
this individual
them
started targeting other people because of like her past bullied experiences, was like harassing other streams and saying on her own stream that people should fear her. But her driving content was deer orgasms. She'd wear deer ears.
I remember this.
And her friends would tickle her.
Right.
And she would that was the name of her stream. Yeah. And then like, I haven't seen her anymore, but like, these are the people making these decisions. You know what I mean? They're in a room. Like, what kind of chat does that look like?
Right,
and
what's
like
their Discord look like? Well,
right.
And that's the thing that concerns me is you have Twitch on every, kid's home system, their Xbox or whatever, or on their PC, and they're coming across some of this stuff that's like, and really that's the problem with the internet as a whole.
It just eats their algorithm, honestly.
There's nothing right, and it beats it, and it's like right there, and they've got to figure out, and also the other thing, and this is, again, I think it's unusual. You have an epidemic. Remember when things like Farmville and Facebook first came out?
Sure.
And you had people inadvertently spending thousands of dollars, or their kid getting access to their account, or Daryl like
hitting that coin button,
right?
Yeah,
Roblox,
just going.
Deal, right? Your son gets the gift cards. It's probably safer.
Dude, Roblox.
To do the gift cards than like a credit card to it or whatever. And they learned. The video game companies learned, because enough parents got together and charged back their Amex and said, "Fuck this! We're not paying $48,000 for digital coins."
Yeah,
that happened enough where they had to put in all these fail safes to make it so like now it's not impossible, but it's pretty easy to safeguard a device from a child with in-app purchases. Except on Twitch, you have these, again, these hot tub streamers. Twitch doesn't necessarily want to shut off that money hose of thousands and thousands of dudes just paying to see their screen name written on some girl's midsection, at $85 a pop, and they're getting 30% or whatever it breaks out to after with the bits. And it's like, they don't want to mess with that money, and they don't. And it's like, what are they going to say? Like, do we think it's ethically sound to encourage young men to spend all their money on these
it's tough
women on the internet? What effectively is like a modern day phone sex hotline in just a different rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then the extreme, it's like, all right, here's where it is, and here's the likelihood of what you're saying. Like, it's like, this is all probable. Yes, you're absolutely right. But then there's this other side where the people defending it are saying, like, they're not nude, they're not doing sexual acts, they're just sitting there. So it's like
your fault that
right. It's the creativity of your brain.
Yeah. This
girl
who's been riding
in that bikini, you know, it's like,
it's the fact that they wrapped it in that. It's the community wrapper. That's what it does.
Yes.
Like when you silo it into that, then it's like anything can go within that community as long as it doesn't go over the line. You know what I mean?
There's
so
a thin line around
absolutely
that thing, you know.
But then when you say, "Hey,
just like a
that
pool.
girl been riding a 6 foot tall inflatable pickle for 4 hours?"
They do that with the eggplants now. They got the giant eggplant fucking.
Look what she's doing.
Well, dude, it's the same thing with the ASMR stuff. It's like, okay,
that is something
you can bite into lettuce, right? But for a few extra, tosses of money to me, I'll get it right there. So like, that's like what they call that is those are the extra mind tingles that I pay for.
Right.
So like, we know what that is.
Yeah.
But to somebody in that community, they're like, that's just extra mind tingle.
Yeah.
You're really flipping out.
I can't quite put my finger on it, Kev, but there is something clearly sexual about the ASMR that no one's saying it. No one's acknowledging it.
ASMR kind of died because of the hot tubs. If you go look at it, it's like there's like almost no, but it's all the same. Look, I'm not.
You get what I'm saying though? There's something
right now. It's sounding like I'm attacking or like hating on these things. Do what you want, but it's just at the same time like, we smell what you're cooking. You know what I mean? Like, we want this mic because we know this is the trend happening right now, and it's fine. They got the little ears and all that stuff. But I actually know people that are just like talented at creating soundscapes, and that is totally fine. But then there, like you said, there's that other like element where it's
like this wink,
they're like licking the ear now, and it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But see, it's still within the community.
Yeah, but how do you moderate that?
What I know, but it's like
like
I lick the mic and my screen goes black. Like some guy's just waiting for that delete button. You know?
Well, here's the thing: if that happens, then they're just going to call it something else so that it fits within the narrative of the community.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a bunch.
Little extra tongue action, more mind tingle.
Yes,
mind tingle 2, mind tingle 3. Like
bring it to the Patreon. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, that's why you got to have an OnlyFans, and you got to have.
And it's not that we're attacking it; we're just calling it out for what it is.
Right.
I'm just saying,
it just is.
The messaging is confusing.
Yeah,
because on one hand, it's like, hey, how about we do this? And this is what I think Twitter should do. Let's have a no holds barred, adult only Twitter that you do whatever you want. Because I can't tell you, like, part of the reason why I don't use Twitter ever is because I'll be like scrolling through and somebody I follow from 5 years ago, like some insane porn content, and you're like, whoa, it's like, like it comes out of nowhere, and you're like, holy shit, this is allowed on Twitter. But
they just don't give a shit. So there's one girl that
you gotta have
follow.
There should be a separate channel for that. And I think Twitch should do the same thing, which is because if they
just setting your own age filter.
Well,
like
dude,
that way when the content you post, it goes to those people.
What's stopping OnlyFans from starting their own Twitch? Nothing. If they're not already working on it.
They're already doing it. You can live stream on your OnlyFans.
But they can't get past having the whole Apple access because that's part of what.
No, they have to do it on the web browser.
The fact that Twitch has been able to succeed is because they're available to be on the App Store, and it's like the App Store has clear rules about pornography and sexual content, but we're skirting those rules. I'm not even thinking
about that crossover.
We're skirting those rules here on Twitch, and they're allowed to stay in the App Store. Eventually, someone else is going to say, you know what? We can follow the rules that Twitch is set forth of just hot tubs. Someone else is going to start a hot tub app, and then and then you're gonna. So that's why I'm saying Twitch, just lean into it. Do your adults only, like you're saying. Have a 18, a 21, whatever the fuck. I don't care.
Yeah,
but like. A kid who's going to watch Roblox shouldn't have to be sifting through, or I shouldn't even say sifting through. Kid probably won't be doing much sifting. I'll probably be doing some staring.
Well, I tell you what, that's why your channel is so awesome. Valorant headshots and, your buddy Wes hopping on. You know what I mean?
Like that was a fun night, dude.
It's all fun, man.
I think I just wanted, even when I was in suffocation for a brief time, and it was always a thought on my mind then to start streaming, because that was even before the boom. That was even before like guys like Ninja were big. Like they had big streams, but it was nowhere near what it became.
Yeah.
But like I thought about it, and then I had that constant reoccurring thought of like, who the fuck wants to watch me play video games? Like, you know, I thought of it in a way to like express what I'm doing. And like the trigger point that actually got me started was I was watching this one YouTuber. Shout out to John Wolf if he ever comes across this. There you go. He would always play horror games, and I love horror games. And I would always I never wanted to watch people play them, but I wanted to see what it was about. Like first 5 minutes, I want the intro, and then
what's
like
great about Twitch. You can just like, hey, what's up with Biomutant? And then we watch that for 2 hours. Like, you know what? This
looks kind of fun.
Yeah,
you know? But like he would play these games, but I think what was stopping me was all these people that were up there, like the big names.
Yeah.
You could tell they were so like, whoa, it's scary. And I was just like, I can't fake that. I can't I'm not a character of like, oh, that was fucking crazy, dude.
So much of like, and you see it now. Like, dude, we're watching something on Twitch the other night, and it's like a Nair commercial that's clearly marketed towards girls. And my fiance's like, do they think a lot of women are watching because we're watching my buddy play Warzone. And they're showing me a Nair commercial. And it's like somehow we've bucked the algorithm with our other watches, but it's like, do they think there's a ton of chicks watching this Call of Duty stream right now? Or are they just confused? Like who's your target audience?
Yeah. I mean, look, they show a half naked chick shaving her legs. The guy's probably looking at I don't know the commercial, but like
that's what I'm thinking.
It's interesting.
Right. But it was like, but what am I gonna do? Like, you know, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're watching wrestling, you're getting like Slim Jim commercials, you're getting fucking beer commercials, like all that kind of shit, you know? That is interesting.
And like, but they're like showing like tampon commercials and stuff. It's like
interesting.
What? Like, okay, or maybe but this could be one of those things in advertising where they don't really know who's watching. And
it could be a weird mix. It could even be like, do you and your fiance share a computer?
An iPad, so you know what? They probably
it might just be like a Google thing. Have you done this? Have you checked the actual Google ad website? And like, you don't even have to have an account. You don't even have to have a username, an email, or whatever. It just goes by strictly your IP. Let's see if I can find the link here. There is a Google website. Google Ad Services.
You can tell me what kind of freak they think I am,
dude. It not only that, it shows you.
Metadata is a bitch, man.
It guesses who you are. Like, it's like, we think you're from 24 to 30 years old. We think you're single. We think you like video games. We think you like this kind of music. We think you're interested in fitness. Like, it's just based on whatever searches, what Instagram accounts you follow, what people you're friends with on Facebook, what they're posting. Like, it's this whole like mixed thing, and it's terrifying.
So they can sleep with clean conscience,
right?
Because they're telling us. And we're just like, yeah, whatever. Here's my fucking life.
But it takes the content, like it takes the data from all of your devices into account. Right. So like if all of your, so like I like Brother Jay, you know this. I love King of Fighters All-Star. I play that shit on everything, right? And like you could just go on and just like ads galore for that, or if you like that, you'll love this. Like it's just.
Hold on, I'm gonna post it here in the chat on this call.
Yeah, please do.
Check this out. I want you guys, if you guys are on a computer and you have access to click this right now, go for it. And I want to see, because I'm logged into my Google, so like it's easier for them. But I'm curious what comes up for you guys.
Yeah, the ad personalization. Hell yeah, dude.
Alcohol, gambling,
action and adventure films.
Yeah.
It breaks you down. It has you figured out.
Yeah.
Your hardware, dogs.
Yeah. You know, it's the same thing with like Instagram, with Instagram Reels and stuff. Like, if you ever get caught in the reel loop,
parental status, not a parent.
Yeah.
Dude, it says marital status, married.
Yeah. It figures that out. Like, it's just based on your searches and shit, dude. It's weird. They have it cracked down. Off. Yeah. But dude, it's bad. And like with what I was gonna say about Instagram Reels, there's something in their algorithm where if you're looking at a photo for like, try it just as a joke. Like, if you follow certain accounts that something you're not interested in, stare at it for 5 seconds and then scroll, because then your feed is like being generated as you scroll. Notice they're all out of order. Notice there's posts that you think they would be sequential, but it's like people that you may be interacting with or messaging more. They throw them in your face more.
Yep.
You know, accounts that you're looking up, whether it's other bands and stuff, it's showing you who they interact. It's some of it is convenient, but some of it's weird. Like there was like Instagram Reels. I was watching a guy playing drums or whatever, and then I scrolled and it's a puppy. And I watched the whole video, scrolled again. Now it's a puppy again, scrolled again. Just dogs. And it's like, is it like in my head? Is it knowing that's what I want right now? Like, it's kind of crazy the way algorithms go in deep. But you know,
you gotta be careful with that algorithm. That's
but they're all doing it. All these platforms are doing it. And so, like I said, some are not bad and they disguise it to be not bad. Like, I don't know if you guys have iPhones, but like when you update your phone, it says like,
you can turn off
as not to track anymore. And now it's advertising me for like, you know, wood building materials. I'm like, I haven't fucking done anything. Like now it's really lost of what I like.
Yeah. But do you want to allow this weather app to track your content?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right now or forever.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and then you know, some of these organizations are upset because their money flow has been turned off. It's like, well, I'm sorry, you mean your money flow of trading my information to other
It's
parties?
the infiltration that became normalized and sold and moved, and then you're just like, you know, you're like this beta tester that you didn't even know you were, and that's like, they've even gone as far as I think there's something that Activision and Overwatch, one of those two, I think it's Activision. They have something, they have a patent where they will purposely lobby you with people that have guns that you do not own. And that way, you know how the kill cam works and all this stuff. There are blueprints that are stronger than other normal guns that you can unlock. And they purposely put you in these lobbies so that way you want that gun.
Because you see, you keep getting roasted by the guy with the Mac 10.
There's small buffs in all these different products that you buy. And it's like, look at how Warzone's trending. Like, oh, this is the new meta. They move the guns around. So they build new skins for that gun and they build it up to be like, hey, you want to buy this. And after like 3 weeks, they're like, actually, the Mac 10 is shit. You want the Farah or the AMAX or whatever.
I play a lot of Warzone with my boys. Pretty good. Shout out to Dips. Let me tell you something. They could have charged $60. I was going to buy Rambo. I don't care.
I did buy John McClane.
Yeah, Daryl, and they added Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah.
In the downtown, and like you have to open the vault and the music plays and like they added all these and I'm like, you know what, I think I will put up with the bullshit if you're giving me something, you know. I don't like when they were
that's what they figured out is that most people will,
right? So
that's why there's no
I will pay
that's why they're charging $20 for a guy.
I will support you in that way, but just give me something good. Give me the Terminator, you know, give me the Predator. Why not? Fuck it. Give me the Predator in this game. I feel like we're getting close to
where they're
just going to say fuck it and go all in.
But here's the difference where I get annoyed at it. It's like they're not making the game better. They're just attacking your nostalgia. Like look at Fortnite. Do you know how many times I've uninstalled Fortnite? I despise the game. I re-downloaded it and I did all the missions to get all the Deadpool skins. I did all the things to get to play as Mandalorian. And even like Mortal Kombat, you could buy the Terminator. You could buy Spawn. You can buy all these things. And it's just not what that game is. Like, I want to play as Scorpion and Liu Kang, but what now? Spawn's here. Spawn's
you know what it is. You know what they're doing. They're capitalizing on the FOMO.
Oh, but
that's what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying.
They're capitalizing on the FOMO.
No, it's all our nostalgia, and it's like they're just tickling that muscle, and it holds us over. It holds us over until something else changes. You know, but
that's why they won't ever put anything new out. It's
right.
They've got to just every couple of years, and I realized that with Star Wars because. And I don't want to sound like one of those. I liked them when they were, you know, in the basement of the First United Center Church guys. You know, not one of those guys at all.
Yeah,
I grew up, you know, Star Wars, not a cool thing, not a mainstream thing.
No,
and very, you know, I lived through the reimaginings that they did, where they remastered everything and re-released them, and you know, then the excitement of the original prequel trilogies and the disappointment of them, and through all that. And then it was just like a wet fart for a long time. And it was just like corners, you know, it was not. And then Disney got a hold of it and they got their fangs into the nostalgia of a certain generation of people.
Of course.
And they like juiced everybody up. And then some people just went fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
And like next thing you know, they're like at the D3, whatever, crying when they show the truth. And it's like, you're losing me.
Yeah.
You're losing me at
drug.
the crying.
It's a drug to them. It's not even the fact that there's a new story. If you look at it,
I feel like it's intentional. Like,
of course it is.
Oh, of course.
There's something nefarious. It's not like, oh, we just want to sell collector's cups at the theme park. It's like, we want to create generational addicts that we can sell plastic bullshit.
Yeah.
To.
The theme park, the Catalina bar, like they're just now like giving you this whole new life where like you thought you had it all back then. Now you have it now.
Right. It was sick.
Cool. But I think even just in the writing of the movie, like if you the new trilogy is almost identical to the old trilogy. It's the same story. They're like your Death Star. Right. But it's just like, you know, at the very end, you're facing fucking you know, Darth Vader. And he's like the big boss in the third movie.
Did you
this one is Palpatine again. It's like, why? Give me someone new.
Did we
someone
really
else
do
to
this
fucking think about?
Just so you could kill all my favorite childhood memories? Like you needed to just like that was the whole point of them. And then now they're like, oh yeah, we see how we went wrong there.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
We're going to lean into, we're just going to pretend that never happened. It's like, what do you mean? Like, you know, now they're like going to try and go the other direction with with Mandalorian and all this stuff. So
dude, you said it was nostalgia, man. Once they grab a hold to something that you can you've already tethered yourself to, they're going to go apeshit with it.
Like you said with Rambo, I'll give you $60. Fuck it. You know, like, what are you losing? You're losing just time and effort, but at the same time, you're kind of pleased because you got this, like even the Star Wars movie,
Rogue One.
No, Solo. Did you see Solo?
It was couldn't do
it. The
it.
ending was the only cool thing about it. And you know why? Spoiler alert for anyone that's listening that didn't watch it. They show you Darth Maul is the guy behind it all.
Right. And you're like, okay, this was worth watching.
You're like, holy shit. Now I don't even care. Give me the new one. Give me the next one. And that's where like Star Wars fans want to see Darth Maul in action because you never really even got to see him in the prequels.
Well, because that's a perfect example. That's one of those characters that grew a whole second life in the alternate comics and books and, you know, video games, especially. Like, it was like, oh, this guy's a badass. He's got fucking
horns,
spike heads.
Yeah.
Like he had in a double dong.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here and just let everybody know that, like, I'm sick when it comes to Star Wars and anything cartoon just related, period, because of that nostalgia. I love Yoda. Yeah. And then they had the Mandalorian. And then there was this little dude called Baby Yoda.
Grogu. Yeah. Shout out to Grogu.
And then now I have him and I buckle him to the passenger seat of my car. So it's just one of those things, man. Like
that's all it is. It's just a nostalgia grab. And it's
they tried to say they didn't think that was going to be a hit. That is bullshit.
Oh my God.
That's why I think the Mandalorian might be procedurally generated, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Oh, it is because like, dude, every episode was a monster hunter. Like it was just, there was no real plot. The whole second season. Or,
and like, if you think about
seasons, right?
All of his lines could be dubbed in and changed. Right. Like you could literally change the entire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they made a big deal to point out how the stage is all digital and there's like no actual sets. Yeah. It's just like some dust and a door and everything else is CGI.
Yeah.
The dude's wearing a helmet. He might be in one episode a season, you know? Yeah. Like we know nothing about this.
Yeah.
He could probably cut his whole lines in an afternoon in Hollywood.
Think about how much they threw into the pot, right? So we just talked about earlier metal and then the anime integration, right? And how, well, when did that happen?
Do you watch Red Skull, by the way? Have you seen that?
Red Skull?
That's like the little angry cat in the anime. It's like a Gretzko, AGGRES.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's like a
Ratsuko.
It almost looks like a little fox girl thing.
If you don't watch that, check it out. It's fucking
I got to check that out.
It's like when she gets mad, she turns into a metal musician or something.
She goes to like karaoke and everyone else, their karaoke is singing like these pop songs and she's just like doing the most brutal death metal. It's great. But it's like, how did this combination crossover and get to a 3-season show on Netflix?
I think it's interesting though, because there is like this, the first time I ever saw that integration and loved it, it's not so much that it was anime, but it was like just Japanese culture. And it was a band called Rise of the North Star. And all their lyrics are super like I'm coming in with all these like crazy kung fu fights, but it's like the guys are half Japanese, half French, and they're all wearing like samurai masks on stage, and like it's
Smart
like
move.
it. And they cover fucking Simon Says, dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 get the fuck out. Dun, 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 Simon Says, get the. It's hard as fuck, and it's hardcore, and it's metal, and they play only festivals. I've never seen them come out with like a tour lineup. I could have just missed it, but every time it's always like Summer Breeze and all those kind of crazy festivals.
They're like an attraction.
Yeah, it's like just a show that they are a visual, like an awesome band, but they're tight. But then that was the only thing, because it's just their original shtick. Like they dive into it 100%. They're all wearing masks and geese.
What was this band called again?
Rise of the North Star.
Rise of the North
Similar
Star.
to Fist of the North Star.
Yes, and that's what the first thing I thought of. That's the only anime that I know and like, because dude, the graphics in that, I know there's a bunch now. If anyone's listening, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're gonna love this then." But like, I just love the episode where he just hits the one guy and he just fucking implodes.
Yeah, and his head blows up. It's like ridiculous.
Be careful what you say about
anime.
Well,
it's the thing. It's like, with me for sure. It's like,
I don't like a lot of it.
I'm not gonna go off on the deep end, but the concept of what you mean, Kev, is like, all right, if I punch your pressure point and then your body blows up and pressure points are real, like, I'm sorry, it's over. It's nuts.
Yeah. But I love the brutality of the things. I personally like, it's not dissing it. I just can't do the it's just dubbed and like all this shit, and like it's just, for me, I can't like stay focused in it. Like I bet if I started on a fresh new show, like I think I tried Attack on Titan, like when it was on Cartoon Network.
It's hard
but
for
this
those
is the
because
part that's hard, because that's the ones that are popular. And then for someone like me that doesn't know the anime culture, I'm like, well, let's give this a shot. And I tell someone like you that knows it, you're like, that ain't fucking.
It's like metal though, but that's how, if I sit my dad down,
it's like, dude, I love Metallica.
I know. But then you go down the slope of like, okay, well, this is, here's suffocation, and it's like, whoa. I said I like Fred Flintstone cartoons. What the fuck is this? And you're showing them Gundam Wing or something.
Where would you put Fist of the North Star in that kind of tier? If you had to go from brutal death metal to like Pearl Jam, like where does that fit?
Fist of the North Star is close to the top of the most brutal that you can get, man.
Yeah,
like quite literally, just because of the death scenes and the way it happens, man. It's not like they don't spare anything, dude. Like, you'll see a stomach flow out of if somebody gets punched in the side, the stomach will blow out the other side with the spine. It's like, it's ridiculous. And we're not even talking about old school 90s manga core version of Fist of the North Star.
See, that's what I'm
where
saying.
like they didn't give a fuck. They're like 6 hits and your dick flies out of your ass. It's stupid, dude. It's like, what? And you're sitting there like as a kid, like, what the fuck just happened?
Well, I have a question. This sounds ignorant as hell. If there's anime and it's the style of the animation, like the character drawing of the characters, what's stopping? Like, why aren't there more cartoons of other people's art style in that vein? That's the part that confuses me. Why isn't there that
caught on?
Like in other art styles? Like for me, it was the Spawn animated series. That shit was awesome.
Right.
On HBO, it was like a rated R, like animated comic that you're watching, like Batman animated series. Big for me as a kid. But like if it was a comic theme, you saw comic book drawings. If it was Japanese anime or whatever, it's just that type of drawing. Like, I'm surprised there hasn't been like more creative implementation in
there are some crossovers, kind of like, and we might have to
Mortal Kombat.
I don't want to butcher this, but like there's a Japanese artist by the name of Hayao Miyazaki, and he had Disney influences that he brought over to the anime genre.
Oh,
so
that's
right?
Yeah,
Studio Ghibli, all that stuff. So
and
like,
they just got a lot of heat for doing that new one, which is like a Pixar one, but it looks like like ass.
Like they have like one like called Ponyo or Castle in the Sky or Princess Mononoke. Like Ponyo, however you go. It's like, but still that his influences was like Disney more, Western to over there. So it's like,
but when you say
but it's not brutal though. It's not brutal. It's all like happy for kids type stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to see the dark, creepy shit But then it's like, oh, I feel like I get I judge it. I'm like, if I don't know that
as you should,
right?
You should
I just
judge
start
it.
going like, looks like a lot of other shows I've seen, and I'm getting this like familiar vibe. Like the music starts, the score kind of becomes the same, and like it's predictable in some cases. Where like, for instance, my comparison to that is the last 10 years of horror movies. The music is all the same. The buildup is all the same.
Yep.
But like when you go back and watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where there's no fucking music, or even Exorcist, there's no music in the whole movie. And you're left with your own imagination going, what's going to happen next? Like what, like your actual instinct of fear is brought into you, where like now these new movies, like, and you're like, all right, there's got to be a guy coming around the corner. And if it's not that second, it's going to be that second, you know, like it's just predictable, where I want to be surprised again.
If you want to be surprised, you got to go old school, like hardcore anime. You got to go like,
give me one and I'll type it right now. To watch later.
I don't want to do anything long like Akira or anything like that. How about
got about 1,000 episodes?
I'm trying to give you one that would be like, Demon City Shinjuku. Let me see here.
Demon City. Okay, I got it here. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, try that.
Isn't that the new one that's on?
No, that's old. That's like 88.
I mean, the visuals. I'm just on Google Image, and it looks pretty badass.
Yeah. Do you like?
This scene looks cool.
And when you get
like
into it, like
going through his whole body,
dude. When you get into it, like that's when like 80s old school, like that's like that's what I got into, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And like,
okay,
and that stuff is it's the stuff that's happening now. I'm just an anime fan.
Sure.
So like now it's like that stuff was like XXX rated Z. This stuff now is like PG-13 to me.
Right. No, but I think it's more they're thinking, let's make it more popular. That way more eyes, like think about how many subscriptions are on Crunchyroll right now in comparison to all the times ever.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What is there's this thing I keep seeing on Instagram. People are like taking clips of this show and using it in like other contexts. The guy is wearing red and white, and he looks like the boss of Spider-Man in the Daily Bugle. Just like old man crew cut, blue eyes with a red and white suit, and he's just fucking mowing people down. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Red and white suit. That sounds to me like Bond from Seven Deadly Sins, but I don't know if that's him because he wears a red suit.
They look like they're superheroes.
Yeah.
No, it's not this guy.
It's not him.
It's not. Okay. No, he looks like he would be Superman with a beard.
Oh, that's from that new show on the new superhero show, the Frank Miller show. It's on Netflix, I think.
Dude, I'm trying to think what it's called.
Josh Duhamel is in it.
Well, because it's like, dude, there's a scene where this guy goes rogue and goes back to like the superheroes like den and just kills everybody in the most brutal way. Like one guy's like the Flash. It looks like a Flash kind of guy. He's got him by the face and he's squeezing his face, and you're just watching the eyes pop out of this man. And the Flash guy is punching him in the chest, and his hands and wrists are breaking as he's hitting, trying to defend himself. And then he like takes him by the leg and just goes wham, and his head just explodes all over the floor. See, that's how like I would imagine Superman would actually handle that. Yeah.
You know, he'd probably just be squishing people to death, you know?
Yeah, I gotta find what this is.
And he's got a red suit, so he's not Trigun.
It's like red suit guy. That's probably a bad thing to Google.
No, it's probably the most perfect thing to Google when the thing the algorithm works.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, don't worry, it'll get served to you on Instagram 20 minutes after the conclusion of this interview.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so everyone's gonna write me on. Write me on Instagram, guys. Tell me what it is and tell me where I can find it.
Does he look weird? Is the guy from Project Arms? Is it him?
He just looks. I'm telling you, like red and white, like Superman looking outfit with a gray cape or a white cape. And he's got like, he looks like the dude from the Daily Bugle, just a regular beard, crew cut, black hair with blue eyes. And he's like jacked. He
Jupiter's Legacy. I think.
I know. I'm so derailing.
No, it's all good.
This is what people tune into the Everyman podcast for.
There you go.
Frantic Googling.
I mean, that's close, but that's again not the guy.
Yeah, because that was like a comic book, and that they've turned it into a television show. So it could be from that. I'm out of ideas after.
Yeah,
it's
sorry, I'm
not-
stumping you guys. I thought this was his place. No,
I thought this was the anime place for this.
yeah. I'm just gonna search violent superhero.
And he's not like a mech type guy. He's not like Ultraman or anything.
No,
Isn't Ultraman like a big Zord? Shout out to the
Yeah,
Power
but
Rangers.
like his smaller form, it's
this.
Yeah,
I found
Power
it.
Rangers had to.
Invincible.
invincible.
Amazon's upcoming superhero series. It looks like this guy.
You had to have been a Power Ranger.
Okay. Is it new?
Yes.
Like
This is what I'm thinking about. Invincible.
Gotcha.
And it's this guy, and you see him now. He's got the
I
mustache.
see him.
And he's
I
got
see
the
him. Yep,
dude. There
I
is
see
a
him.
scene in that I think it was posted on Instagram,
Gotcha. Yep.
and it was the most brutal fucking scene. He just goes into like their head. Imagine being like walking into the Avengers building and just
Bro.
mowing down each and every one of them.
Dude,
And it's brutal as hell.
So are you familiar with One Punch Man?
Yes,
Is it more brutal than that?
kind of. Kind of. I mean, again, I'm not well versed in it, but like, let me see if I'm gonna find. I'm gonna go on YouTube, and I'm sure I could find the clip on YouTube.
Omni-Man. Okay.
Omni-Man. Yes.
Yeah, Omni-Man. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's OP. But see that like that, then that guy gets then he's thrown into the whole, okay, well, he's only as strong as he is because he's in his own universe type. It's
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Here, I'm gonna post again. Just you guys can check it out whenever you want. But that is that I found the
Yeah.
video I was thinking of.
Yeah.
He shows up and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he just starts killing them all. And he's like, "What are you?" They're like so confused, and he's just like fucking not even saying a word, just like getting hit. And he's taped up. Like other people are holding him back, and he just like takes the shoulders of the other guy and rips them off, and just
That's
keeps
epic.
going.
Yeah.
And it's so sick. That's
See,
the
like,
only
that's how,
thing
like-
comparably that I
Yeah.
can think of.
Yeah.
I think
So like
the future of anime, it's just gonna be a one-stop shop for violence, porn, political.
dude,
discourse,
anime, dude,
philosophy.
there's a whole we're not even getting into it, obviously, because we're a wholesome everyman.
Yeah, that's the line.
We're just but like, I mean, as we all know, there is a whole genre of anime porn shit that goes on too. That's
High
Yeah.
that's a
dollar.
wormhole you don't even want to get into.
I hear that's like I saw somewhere that's like one genius mind came up with that whole tentacle
Yeah,
thing.
it's crazy. But yeah, that's no.
Jesus.
Again,
there's-
that's a whole nother
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Whole nother stream.
Yeah, that's for the Patreon. If you guys have one of those, that's
Yeah, you can find that. You can find that content on our OnlyFans here.
yeah.
Now, Kev, we've taken a long and winding road to this point here.
Yeah.
And I want to kind of try and reel it back in just a tad
Dude,
before
yeah.
we
This
before we
is what
sign
happens
off.
when I just ADD
Your
out.
Twitch
I'm just like-
stream.
yeah.
Your
we
Twitch
turned
stream.
turned into
Yeah.
a Twitch stream.
Oh man.
So Kev, what is your Twitch schedule? What's the best place for people to keep up with you, see what you're working on music wise, catch an upcoming, stream? Where should everybody follow you?
Instagram is probably the best at Kev Muller. Simple. Muller. It's not Mueller. It's not any of those.
Yeah.
It's just Kev Muller. My
Easy
my
mistake.
Twitter, what's that? A
Easy
lot of
mistake
people
to make.
say it. And then what's crazy is that like Mueller, like even just the name Muller is a German name. And when they came in, they're, you with the double dots over it. And then it was pronounced like
Jumba.
Mula. Yeah. And then like at Ellis Island, they're like, yeah, let's just put an E in there or fucking whatever. And they just like made two versions and now there's just a confusion.
Yeah, that's how
When it's MUE, it's Mueller. And then there's Muller, just Americans sounding it out. But then there's some people that are spelt Muller, but they've been calling themselves Mueller the whole, it's just. a whole
Well,
thing.
yeah. Jeez.
But anyway, yeah, twitch.tv/Kev Muller, Twitter, Kev Muller Live. But Instagram is my most active. But then on Twitch, I like to, right now I'm working on a schedule of Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at this point, or maybe Fridays. I throw the weekend up on different days. But I'm trying to keep it more, I'm on a whole new journey. For the last 3 years I've been on there, I've been playing games, horror games, shooter games. And just taking on requests from people, checking out new bands, talking to new bands. I've had some interviews on there. I've had Brad from Devourment on there. I've had, damn, it's been so long. Who else have I had on there?
Your buddy Wes is on there and he's fucking awesome when
we
he
had
comes
Wes
on, dude.
Dude, he's just an OG.
He's so fucking
dude.
sweet, dude.
humble, fucking awesome dude. Happy to be on this journey with him. And,
Yo, which was the one where you guys were talking, where he was trying to explain NFTs to you? Which episode?
it was just one whole stream.
Yeah,
That was just one whole stream.
That was his. You guys got to check that shit out because how he equates it to like how you get money from it and monetize it and like it's like, you know, remember when like guys like get like in the porn industry they get like fucking that is the dick molds. Dude, I'm like, that's the most brilliant way to fucking equate it in the world. Like I'm like, there it is, got it.
Yeah, that's the answer. Yeah, that's, you know, Wes has this skill where
we're selling dick molds.
Yeah, dude, Wes
it's perfect, bro. Like how he explains it. It's nuts.
Yeah, you will get this. If you ever ask him a question, he'll be like, and he's like, before he says a word, he's getting the perfect answer ready for you. Yeah. He won't go like, it might be like that. He'll just like, no, this is it. And he'll just hit you with that kind of shit.
And my other favorite thing, and I don't mean to cut you off about your Twitch stream, is you use Dingus.
You
use Dingus. Yeah. Shout out John C. Riley.
Yes.
Check it out.
Jimmy Drangus. That's what I was like, dude. I say all sorts of shit like that.
Beverly Dingus.
Yeah.
Steve Brule. It's fucking awesome, dude.
Talk about things that have gone mainstream is the whole Tim and Eric comedy.
Dude, they're popular from more gifts than their own show. Hell like, how many people are using Steve Brule? Like,
But dude, commercials are like in that style now. There's a whole.
Well, do you know that Eric Wareheim probably does half of them?
I'm sure.
The Old Spice commercials with Terry Crews.
Oh,
he does all those.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. All the fucking and he's hitting all the drums and shit. Like that's Eric Wareheim.
Daryl, did you? They did one for.
Last I heard, I think it is.
I forget what vodka company, but they got
Absolute.
Absolute vodka, and they wouldn't release it, so they ended up just releasing it on YouTube themselves. Yeah. And it's like
Red Band on YouTube.
Dude, it's like 13 minutes long, but they broke every rule of, you know, and it's just like them splashing around in pools of alcohol and be like, I love this. Like, it's just like, you can't point out that alcohol can be bad for you, you know, in an alcohol commercial, it's like illegal, you know, so, but they got, you know, paid $50,000 to do this vodka commercial and they just could never use it. It's brilliant.
So good. They have Zach Galifianakis and they're all wearing these big wigs and they're like, let's get some vodka. And they whip out like a bottle like this fucking big and they're just funneling it like into all the glasses and they've been filled 10 times, just like spilling everywhere. Like they went every angle they could have. They went extreme. Hey, you know,
dude, that's awesome, man.
You gotta watch it. Awesome. Shout out to Tim and Eric, dude.
Yeah,
that is like the driving force of my humor. If it's weird and ridiculous, I watch a lot of stand up and I watch a lot of like Eric Andre, Tim and Eric, like things that make other people uncomfortable, things you don't want to watch on a first date on a Netflix and chill. Like if that's happening, just put on like Eric Andre, Tim and Eric, and just that's the test of their character.
Dude, it's like it's just real though. Like it's like that's why I love the streams because like. The shit that happens on there, like your mic like fucks up and like falls off and you're like, wait, I'm just going to fucking fix this real quick. And then like you see the comment section, you used to see the fucking douchebags on there and then you're like, yeah, fuck you. All right, here we go. Like, it's just like, dude, but it's so awesome. Like, you want to know what the reason was? Fucking washer right there. That's what it is. Right fucking there, guy. All right, cool.
That's it, dude.
And I'm going to fix it.
Yeah. It's one of those things where this is what it goes back to what I was saying before about like other YouTubers, how they're so like some are animated and it's a character. They clock in and they have that personality and good on them. So the people find them entertaining. For me, I like to use this as like my own outlet for my music and the things I like and the games I like and the people I like because I've attracted people like me and everyone's sarcastic. And my favorite shit is when like a troll comes into the chat, like someone that's just here to talk shit. Yeah, everyone of my people are trolls to each other, but in like a healthy, friendly relationship. So if you can smell like the outside, like toxic energy, you're like, whoa. And then just,
but it's cool. It's like the stuff that you would say, like, around your boys, like, hey, no, we're not doing 90s hip hop. This is only heavy metal right now.
Yeah.
That's another.
I'll do 90s hip hop. I'll put on Onyx and KRS and just rock. You know what I mean? Like,
but you're like, right now, this is death metal session metal, right dude. Now.
That whole YouTuber thing, and it's like Daryl and I very much do not fit into that mold, and we're not, you know.
But the best part is that you will stick out to someone that likes this shit. Like, and that's the difference. Like, the more original you are, you're gonna get a more loyal fan base. You're not gonna have these people that watch for one thing, like one aspect of your whole thing. It's like the people you get on, the way you react with them. You're not. It's
Yeah,
not.
man.
It's all candid. It's all real. It's not like set up. I just can't get. I can't subscribe to those kind of things.
It's
just love being silly.
the age old adage to thine own self be true, man. Like
Yeah.
it's just that deal. Like your bro comes on, you're in OBS, you got to resize his deal, do it right on fucking camera. I wish I could get rid of these fucking buttons, but we're just gonna go with it. Hey Wes, get your face into the center of the camera. Oh yeah, like this.
Yeah,
sure. I'll do it.
Yeah, sit up. No,
That's awesome.
that wasn't even planned to have him because he was talking about doing an Instagram live thing prior, and I was like, all right, we'll do it like a 10-minute Skype call before we do the thing because we did a listening party on Instagram too.
Yeah.
But then he just wanted to stay the whole time. We stayed for like an hour or 2 hours, and I was like, all right, let's just I'll make him big, and I don't give a shit. All right, whatever. People see him. That's all people want, right? That's the content you want. Who cares if he's in a border?
It was cool. He's like on the edge. He's like laying on the bed. You're like, dude, like sit up. Just like gonna get your
like
your fucking
put your face in the center. Like
He's
just
like,
give me that.
Like this, Kev. Like this. Sure. Okay. Keep your head above the buttons.
Yeah, and that's and I'm glad that I have those kind of relationships. Like I'm talking with a few friends that I'm kind of like right now. I finally got like I have a manager helping me with my stream, and he's really just like my human schedule. Like Kerry's the man. He's the guy that sets this up, and he's the one. Shout out to Kerry, dude. Fucking beautiful. And he is doing the things that like my ADD kicks in. I'm like, oh, I gotta redo my graphics. I can do this. I gotta make an intro video, and I start doing all this. I can do a lot of stuff myself, but like being like setting up the stuff, right? And he's the guy reaching out to other people, getting I give him a list of people I want to contact. He hits them up for me, and it's just a fucking beautiful team we got started right now. So this is my whole re-initiative. I was saying before, I've been on for 3 years. I've been kind of lax about it. I'll stream for 13 hours. I'll stream for 2 hours. Where now I'm trying to make it a program where like Mondays you can expect games, Wednesdays you can expect music reviews, Fridays you can expect vocals, and I'll do covers, and I'm doing Alluvial songs. I'm doing my other band, the Merciless Concept songs. I'm doing even old Suffocation songs. Anything that I'm able to do. I want stuff I want to learn. Like I want to do some Cannibal Corpse songs. I want to do some just bringing different, styles of what I like into the stream. And I have a bunch of cool interviews. Like I have a segment where I'm going to be doing like music reviews and then bringing on the people after the fans have just gotten to listen to it and set up an interview with one of those musicians after. Like, yeah. And that's what I'm doing until tour season happens, and I will be streaming our shows.
Awesome.
So it's gonna be like your best backstage pass will be through my Twitch account. I'll be fucking with Wes in the bunk while he's sleeping. I'll have the camera in his face, and then yeah, exactly. Toilet cam. Gotta have that. I heard Twitch loves that.
I hear they're big on public bathroom.
Yeah, public. More people, the merrier. They count as a viewer now. That's what I heard.
We can't. Let us dare not even mention the name. But
love that guy though.
I love that guy.
One of my favorite guys.
And it's like, and it's like you can't even. And it's like they're like banning people from interacting with him outside of Twitch.
Bro,
it's like
that whole thing is so ridiculous. The truth is coming out about all that though. It's all been like
eventually.
It already is. All people are already starting to talk. So there was a deal.
Problem.
He made a thing about Mixer, and it was all fake, just to get more money out of Twitch.
My whole problem is
good ploy though.
Allow people to wildly speculate about someone's character or potential legal, like if you have a contractual disagreement with someone, with a business partner, put out a press statement that says we had a contractual disagreement with this individual and we've released them from the thing. We wish them the best of luck in their endeavors.
Twitch did an oopsie on that one.
Right. You just leave it to open wild speculation against on Twitter with largely a bunch of 13-year-olds that don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Dude, the wild
someone of possibly doing the most horrible things and then just being like getting off without any that for me.
Like, how do they not have to suffer any sort of consequence because of the damages they gave him? Like he lost all his sponsors and then gained them all back once they heard the truth of the matter.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, because they just want to run his name through the mud to just fucking keep themselves. Because if the truth came out that's why they banned him rapid,
exactly,
it would have hurt them.
People would have been like, "That's not what we're about." But and honestly, Daryl and I have had that conversation. When we saw that, I was like, well, if they're going to do that to this individual, why wouldn't they just do that to us?
Dude, I've thought about it.
Is this really what we should be investing our time and efforts into? If this is how they view, their allegedly top tier creators. And I was definitely changed our
But then
perspective.
hot tub category is created.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Right.
okay,
And
by
now
the
we're
way,
back in this conversation.
Right,
Here we
right.
go.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like what's okay? What's okay?
Right.
They're okay with the shoveling of money here, but here, because he tried to just get a hair more off you, now you got to run his name out. You know, like he dropped like what was it, Mountain Dew? For those that I'm gonna say his name. I give credit to this man. If this gets around to him, I praise you. You know, firm handshakes to the doc.
Mhm.
But like, dude, he's just Dr. Disrespect, man. He's such a sick. I don't watch a lot of streams, but his I laugh at so hard because he rages.
Yeah.
The idea and the character. The guy's selling books. He's selling his merch. He sells his like mustache, fucking like the wig and the glasses, dude. It's the idea of like again. How old are you, Daryl?
39.
39. All right, I'm gonna be 30 in 4 days, and for me, I held on to like my dad showed me a lot of funny shit. Like I grew up listening to the Jerky Boys.
Oh yeah,
Anthony, and like really crude.
Did you say Opie and Anthony?
Yes,
dude.
That's
all
that shit.
I like. That was I fell in love with talk radio, Opie and Anthony, and like that.
Dude, Jim Norton, the third voice, is my favorite. One of my favorite comedians. So
Brilliant.
It's that whole world. I listen to all those stand-up comedians, and that's got me through the pandemic. It's like all these different podcasts, and it's kind of inspired me because I just want to do what I want to do. I want to have music. I want to have people on. I eventually want to have comedians on.
Yeah.
Like right now, like Chris Stefano and Andrew Santino and like that whole crew is like fucking hilarious. And I don't know what I was gonna say before is like there's something about that like person that you like the what's the word they use for wrestling? The guy you don't want to get famous, the under. What do they call him?
Oh, the heel.
The heel. Right. I love a heel. I love like, and Doc is like the heel. Right. Like he's just offensive. He just fucking smashes it. Dude, he takes a wireless mouse and throws it at the ground and explodes. You see all the parts everywhere, and it's just hilarious.
And the fact that he's also elite at what he does. Like, and it's like, yeah, get better. You're like, okay. Like, dude, perfect example. Again, shout out to my boy Dip. He's doing well on Twitch, and he's, you know, I play with him while he's on stream all the time. We were just doing it before this podcast.
Yeah.
And he's like ripping off 20-25 kills in a game of Warzone. All my wins I get because I play with him.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes in the heat of the moment he'll be like, yeah, get better. And I'm just as he's roasting somebody, and I said to him the other day, I was like, and this was again, I would say it to his face, but it was on his stream. I said, I like to imagine you're saying that to like a 14-year-old right now. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, well, they better learn now because the cold world. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. If they don't have an older brother who's kicking their ass in the, you know, in a video game in person, they just got it right now. And they need to learn. It's a long road. So you're an adult, 14-year-old someday in the future.
And his whole gimmick where he's like, some blonde haired, fucking little blue-eyed little and then he's doing the voices and shit, and it's just like the fact that he got that popular and it's like a normalcy. Like I want to see that on television. I want to like
he's talking about doing movies and characters.
Oh, for sure. He was on SNL or something or Bad TV or something, and he was doing ads and shit on there for like he's doing, what is it, G Fuel or Mountain Dew or whatever the company he was with at the time.
He did something where he donated enough money so that every face in the NBA game at Denver had his face on it, like they were cutouts of the fans, and it was just all him like he donated like $150,000 to have his face on TV for 2.5 hours.
It works.
Awesome.
Dude. People are sharing that shit around, dude. I love that shit, and that's kind of where I want to be. I want to get myself in that field where you're just doing what you want. And same thing with him, like he loves sports and he'll just bring on a pro NBA player and play Call of Duty with him.
Yeah.
Like it's that fusion of that kind of the two different vastly different communities coming together is like my favorite shit. Like, I don't know, man. It's just so cool.
Well, I think the future is, you know, live streaming, live content, live interaction.
Yeah.
And once you get used to watching something on Twitch and then you flip over to like, even like a movie, you're like, what the fuck? Where's the chat?
Yeah.
Like, where's like, I want to
where's the chat?
Like, I want to be joking with my friends in text form while watching this, you know? My fantasy football league, we've been doing this for running on 15 years now. And it's like, we're trying to figure out how can we turn this into a Twitch thing? Like, so I'm
sure people are doing it though.
Well, like doing our chat or doing our draft on Twitch so we can stream it and chat
Well,
with each other and doing all
people
this
are
shit.
doing like, I'm sure if you had it in like a live podcast form, maybe not showing the game, but you can have like,
Right, the people that are involved in it
Is it?
reacting, like you know the franchise owners, if you will.
Yeah, but I'm curious.
Daryl's taking notes right now.
Can you can you stream
Locked.
a radio feed?
Locked.
No, so you can't do that, but you could like have it off camera and you can be talking about it. You just
All right, so what you could do though, you could have the website up with those like play-by-plays.
right, and you're just going,
You're just observing the like the digital flash format.
just chatting, kind of like the way they
X's and
do
lines.
like the stock streams where they're know.
That's
the
actually
ups
what I
and
thought
downs.
of. Like Bitcoin people that are just
Right.
like watching. It's just a stream of graphs, and one guy like,
Yeah, yeah, Mm.
yeah, just fucking 8 monitors going like, oh, all right, this
Oh,
one's
that
good.
doesn't look good. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
whoa, how can
Drop 7 million here. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No, there's a lot of people do that, but that's where I'm thinking there's a market for that for sure. And like, if you guys like it enough, you're gonna love talking about it. Like my little brother, he just loved sports his whole life, and like he's the guy that if you were at a football party or a family party, he's like, yeah, this new quarterback, he's pretty cool. He went to this school. He graduated just with this, and then he was his rookie year.
Analytics,
high school,
baby.
and he's just got his whole fucking backlog of information.
Analytics.
Yeah,
Love
just from listening to radio shows, reading articles, and just knowing everything. And that's like all that stuff. And I'm like, for me, I'm like, yeah, that guy just ran pretty
His
far.
favorite
You know,
cheat
he
it.
did pretty good.
I'm that guy, Kev. I'm
You like
that's
the
that's
analytics
why
and all
I'm
that?
well, that's
What's his-
part of what I do. That's why I started here. I work at NFL Films.
I'm watching.
like-
now I'm putting it together with all the
Yeah.
jerseys
So
behind
like
you.
that's I'm that guy at the party.
There you
Yeah.
go. Then you're perfectly set for it.
Yeah.
Set it off.
Profile away.
Yeah,
profiler.
yeah.
It's
That's sick.
we're special boys here. Is there last couple questions as we wind
Sure.
this bad boy down? Is there any Twitch streamers or channels that you maybe like it's like a guilty pleasure thing that people would be surprised that you watch or check out? Like for example,
Guilty pleasure.
I love shout out to Mary's Milk Monsters. She's a goat farmer in Portland. And this young lady,
That's dope.
she just turned 21 and she's blown up on Twitch over the last year. And
Okay.
she just every day takes care of her goats. You know, she does it on stream. She builds like a patio. She builds furniture. She makes me feel like a sorry excuse for a man watching her.
She's just out doing yes. She's like,
Dude,
it's
she's
raining.
literally
She's like, I'm
doing-
going. It's fine.
She's doing chin ups and then like milking goats and then building a deck with a with a
Yeah.
compressor powered nail gun. It's like holy shit. It's amazing.
She's nailing it.
Literally.
literally
And,
nailing
you know,
it.
Yeah.
Heyo.
There's a guy that just plays this Italian guy that just plays the accordion.
I know exactly who you're fucking talking about. He's just like,
Happy Times Radio.
doesn't even talk. He's just like,
And then like you'll look at his donation goal at the top. It's like gift for my mom.
yeah.
It's like $4,500. I'm like, what the fuck? And then
It's
you
so
look
good.
at it, it's like 3,900. And then next thing you know, it's like, he got his mom a vacation to Italy. How about that?
yeah, that's
Or
nice.
like-
Real nice.
You know, yeah, like it was like new accordion and it was like $6,000. And I'm like, oh, that can't be right. And the next thing you know, I'm looking up
He's got it.
rolling digital accordions and they really are like $5,800.
Yeah.
So it's probably that and a cable and a case.
A lot of intricacies go into that thing. I feel
For
Oh
like
yeah.
But dude,
I feel
he'll do like Beyonce songs or like Destiny's Child. Like all of a sudden he's playing like some nice music, for dinner. Then it's just like, like, hey, I know this song. You're like, what is love? It's and he's just holding it down on the accordion. Anything like
Oh,
that
man.
that you enjoy on Twitch?
Dude, there was one. You know what? I've done the thing shamelessly where when I'm about to end, I'll just raid someone that just looks goofy or looks like it's something that looks entertaining and totally not what my chat is expecting. But there was this guy, and I wish I remembered his name right now, but he was one of the first guests on Howard Stern show. And he just sits on stream and he smokes a cigarette and he has this fake long nose and he has a mannequin just sitting behind him and he's just like talking. He's like, yeah, man, I was there. I have Guns N' Roses. Yeah. Yeah. He's just like, he's just talking. Like no one's there. No one's talking to him. And it's just one of those like Tim and Eric things in your mind where it's just so
But it's real.
uncomfortable that it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But that was one thing I liked. But I in terms of guilty pleasures, that there's not much outside of that. I really do like watching. Shout out to Mike Leone Shreds. He's bassist for Soulfly and his other band, The Absence. I hang out in a bunch of the music streams. Who
Shout out
else?
to Blake Richardson, the steakhouse. Gotta love
Yeah.
my steakhouse.
Shout out to
crew.
Spoonerism. Shout out to who else do we got here? I'm just looking at my list thinking which one would I click on? My buddy, the Monaco Show, my buddy, Big Buddy Nick. It's just like I like going to streams that I feel like I'm part of in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's selfish or if that's just like the engagement is fun to like you just walked into your friend's backyard and you're like, oh, what's up, boy? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, everybody in there. And like, I like those kind of streams. But in terms of guilty pleasures, I'm like looking at the bigger names.
I like going in and going all the way to like the least views and trying to find the most eccentric.
But I think that's so random.
gems.
You know what I mean? It's just you click it, you're like, what can I find in here? Like, go to the hot tub section and scroll all the way to the bottom.
Oh,
and just
you
and
act
just see
like I
what's
haven't
there.
already.
Yeah,
Dude, there's one the other over the weekend they had the Montreal Zoo moved their otter camp because we have a bunch of critter cams that we follow on our Twitch.
Yeah,
and it moved the otter pool cam.
it's in that category
into the hot tub, and it's like thickest fur brown, 3 thick brown girls in a pool, and you know, and it's like
oh, it's so good.
Otters on their backs holding their bellies with little dog toys. It's adorable.
That's amazing.
And then they like 8,000 people watching them at any given time all weekend, and it was like
right.
And
They
it's like
deserve every
it is a tub.
view of it.
Yeah, they do, and I enjoy it.
Man, it's so good.
I love the fun that they're having with the titles.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if there's one silly one.
And I'm not judging anybody's looks, but there was some really concerning shit going on in people's bathrooms. From that hot tub section, Daryl. You got to check it out. It's wild.
Yeah, I got to dive into that.
My favorite shit is when you're joining a stream and it just looks like this.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
And they're like replying to chat like this.
That's the
like,
mic handle category.
But what's crazy is that there's like 200 people in there just waiting to see what happens. You know what I mean? It's never like there's actually anything really happening. It's just like someone. It's like, is someone gonna get robbed here? Like what?
When is it gonna move?
Yeah. There was actually a guy who, dude, straight up, there was a guy who streamed in his underwear, just like this.
For everybody listening to the audio only podcast, Kev is demonstrating laying on a couch in a relaxing fashion.
Yeah, and there's like 4,000 kids in chat just going like, did he move yet? He's got like Cheetos on his stomach and shit. It was just so funny. That
$300 to get on your chair. Just get off the couch.
Dude, I didn't even think there was incentives. I think he was just there. And it was just imagine hitting live stream and then going and laying down with 0 viewers and then just staying there until all that list, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
There's plenty of girls that are sleeping on stream, allegedly.
Well, that was a thing that happened when one guy did it, and he set up alerts to his speakers in his room. So if you donated $20, fucking fire sirens started blowing off in his room. And like it was like once he fell asleep, chat would then just donate hella money, and it's like bah, 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 and it would wake him up and it'd connect to his lights and it would do all this crazy shit.
It's pretty clever.
Those are just funny.
But gotta leave it to the good people on the internet. They always find a way.
There's always something.
13 hours of that. 13 hours of that straight.
Well, Kev, I'm here for it. Let me just say, obviously, Carrie, you were absolutely right.
Yep.
Hit it off.
Shout out.
Charmingly.
Yeah.
Not enough. This will absolutely have to run into another podcast.
For sure.
We'd love to have you back on.
Do a little catch-up episode.
Absolutely. And then, once Alluvial's on the road, I'm sure we'll be hitting you up. We'll see you on the road.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you what. Maybe there's a world we get that hot tub. Just a couple of content creators in hot tubs doing a crossover stream of the century. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what the world has for us?
3 thick beards.
That's
floating
right.
in a hot tub.
Absolutely.
Thick otters.
3 C's.
3 thick otters on our backs with dog toys.
Oh yeah,
That's
dude.
right. That's
Fuck
right.
yeah.
Hot water action. Kev, seriously though, man, best of luck to you.
Hey.
We'll be in the chat in the stream, and it's been great having you on the podcast. We'll catch you down the road, brother.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys. Take it easy.